Like, I would never respect it. I don't respect the man who has like 50 charges.
Okay.
And I would never vote for him. So that's exactly
kind
why.
Okay, so
A lot of opportunities he gave people. I know people look at it like he just wants to help the rich and stuff like that. But I'd have voted. I'd have voted for Trump. I could have voted. I'd have voted for Trump. And reason why I say that, we got a black president the first time. Obama, they thought the world was gonna change so much. It was gonna be so much good stuff happening. It didn't.
everything is in God's hand no matter what. So no matter who wins the election, it's tough to say how good or how bad things will get.
When we unite, we win. And when we fight on all fronts, we win on all fronts. So it's not just about being a registered Democrat or being a registered Republican. Sometimes both of them do things that hurt you. But
that's what voting does for you. You have some people who want to say, oh, it doesn't matter, who I vote for, they're going to vote for whoever they're going to put in office whoever they want to. That is not necessarily true, especially.
We didn't really have a good choice of candidates this time, but I voted for the person who I voted for because I thought that it was a little bit better than the other one.
Now, without telling me who you voted for, or if you do want to, what are the reasons why you voted the way you voted today?
The reasons, women's rights.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, she said she's gonna reduce taxes, a few other things I can't remember. I'm pretty sure she's gonna do good on her end.
Okay.
If Kamala wins, it's gonna take a little bit of time for her to do what she has to do. And I'm just being honest. That's how I feel.
Okay. So you think if Trump wins, how do you think the country would be?
I think it's gonna start a riot. In my opinion, I think he can't take it. The ones that voted for him can't take it. So it would start a riot.
All right, so
Well, minimum wage, schooling, how expensive it is just to get in school. And we don't even make like half of the money it is to go to school or to even get a home.
what do you think will happen to America if Trump do win?
Well, I think this is what I will say. If a felon can run the country, then why can't felons have jobs?
What do you think will happen if Trump would have won?
Oh Lord, we going to hell.
And that was you the second person who said that.
For real. I just don't want him in there. I don't feel like
The reason why I voted the way that I voted is one, I did my study. Doesn't matter whether they were Democrat or Republican, I voted on what matters to me.
All right, peace and blessings, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get right into this video. As you see, several people in North Carolina, Goldsboro specifically, were voicing their expectations and their opinions about the election. Today is November the 6th, and as we know, or as you should know, that it is projected that former President Trump has defeated Kamala Harris, and I, for one, am extremely happy. Now, don't take my words out of the context, not because of the results. I don't care about the results. I'm caring about it is over now. All of the back and forth and all of the, fighting amongst this person and that person, this opinion and that person, how things going to be, it's over. And so now, whatever happens. People always believe in God, and I see a lot of doom and gloom on my timeline. What happened to no weapon formed against us will prosper? We are more than a conqueror. If God be for us, who can be against us? The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? All of those scriptures that we quote and quote and quote and supposed to live by. From what I see sometimes on my social media is everybody's all doom and gloom and what now? And no, I still live by those scriptures. If God be for, stand still and watch the Lord fight my battle. So no matter, what Trump plans to do, all of those things that have been talked about, I'm not worried about that, because once again, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? So nevertheless, we're going to get to what these people felt about the election and their opinions and, how they feel that things will be right now. A lot of people voice their opinions about what would happen if Trump would win. So We're gonna dive into these, these men and women, black women, their perceptions, and I'm gonna give a little commentary in between. But stay tuned as we continue this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
From local stories to Wayne County news, get ready to dive into everything happening in North Carolina with Taylor House Publishing. Got a story to share? Shoot us an email at taylorpublishinghouse@gmail.com. If you're looking to publish your book or need some top-notch mentorship, we've got your back. Join the excitement with the one and only Richard Taylor, right here at Taylor House Publishing. Speak with Richard directly at 919-587-7782. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and invite your family and friends to watch.
From Wayne County to the Carolina coast, Taylor House brings the news you love most. Tune in on YouTube, don't miss a beat. Local stories that keep you on your feet. Taylor House, we got the school. Taylor House Publishing.
We're at the library.
At the library. So
We are.
I'm here with the young lady. You just voted?
Yes.
All right, so why do you vote?
Overall, voting, I feel like a lot of people are hesitant to vote because they feel like nothing's gonna change. But I feel like if you don't even try, like, how is it gonna change? If you don't try to put in effort, you're not going to ever vote every time we have an election or feel like your voice is not gonna be heard, then it's not. If you're not gonna try, then nothing's gonna happen. Everything's gonna still stay the same. So I feel like it's important to vote
now
for that reason.
you can tell me, without telling me, or you don't have to tell me who you voted for. If you want to, you can.
Right.
But why do you? Why? Wait a minute.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So why did you vote the way you vote? Okay, you already answered the question. So you voted for who?
I voted for Kamala Harris.
Okay, so why did you vote for her?
I voted for her because there's three important things, that they distinguish between both parties, and it's basically, immigration, taxes, and abortion laws. I'm against the abortion laws. I'm against anybody telling a woman what to do with their body.
Okay.
Especially like us bringing life. Like we should be the ones to choose that.
Okay.
And also, as opposed to Trump, how he's going about things. I feel like any man that could put, kids in cages and take away from their mothers.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what the circumstance may be, but to treat kids like that, like I would never respect it. I don't respect the man who has like 50 charges.
Okay.
And I would never vote for him. So that's exactly why.
Okay, so now, what do you think will happen? Because a lot of people think something bad will happen. What do you think, or how would you feel if he does win?
If he does win,
What do you think will happen? How would you feel?
overall, I'll be really disappointed. And I would be disappointed in us because we did not vote. If that was the case, we didn't stand up and actually go out there and vote for her. I would be so mad, like, to let a criminal become the president of the United States. Like, we have to call the United States a joke. Like, this is not.
Now, how would you feel if Kamala wins? Like, what would you feel that you have won?
Right. I feel like I would be a part of writing history.
Okay.
The first black woman, a woman and a black woman in presidency.
All right.
So I feel like I will be a part of that change. That, maybe we'll see what she can get done, but at the end of the day, she has to untie what has been done. So like, we can't expect her to just be doing things right away. But I'm pretty sure, her aspect has changed, and her being a prosecutor to now. So I feel like, people change, and she has different outlooks now. So overall, I just want to see if she's going to stand behind what she's saying.
Okay.
So that's the biggest thing for me. But
if they're going to keep their promise.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Well, I thank you so much for
welcome.
your candidness and your participation. Now we have my brother right here. Now he's from Kenya, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you could have voted, who would you have voted for? Cause be honest, though, you be honest. This is real life. You know what I'm saying?
Be honest. Donald.
Okay, all right, and this is and I love this, right? Because you're with your best friend, and y'all are cool enough to have different
She gonna fight me.
opinions.
She gonna fight me about
All right,
that.
okay. So listen. So why would you have voted for Donald?
Um, I'm gonna be honest. So I can't really. I haven't done too much due diligence,
Okay.
but I would say I personally felt that the economy was better. Um, It's a lot of opportunities he gave people. I know people look at it like he just wants to help the rich and stuff like that. But when he was president, I saw a lot of people.
He let you talk, man.
When he became president, I saw people have more opportunities and whatnot. I saw a lot more opportunities. I think it's when you look at both candidates, I think you got to select the lesser of both evils. Because I really wouldn't vote for either one of them.
Okay.
But if I was to vote, I would just go Trump. But yeah, that's pretty much it for real.
I appreciate you, my brother. So we got two people riding in the same car that have two political views, and I hope they make it home safely.
The one that can't vote.
Thank y'all so much. Appreciate
You're
you.
welcome.
All right, so there you have a young lady who made some very valid points about why she was voting, women's rights, immigration, and abortion. And she said something very important at the end. She said that she wants to see if she's going to stick with what she says she can do. You know, she said that, you know, if Kamala wins, she would have to untie some things that, you know, has already been happening. But she did say, okay, we want to see if they're going to stick with what they're going to say they're going to do, which I think all politicians, they come up and they say all of these good things and then they just go in and go with the flow. In my opinion, just my opinion. And then we have her friend, my brother, the Kenyan, right? You know, he said, look, I'm going to vote for Donald. I know the wind was blowing, so you made him not hear him. But he was like, okay, well, there's the, you know, the economy factor. He felt like there was more opportunities, but also said, look, I haven't done my due diligence. But basically, I really wouldn't vote for either one of them. He can't vote because he's not a citizen. But he said, I really wouldn't vote for either one of them, and I feel that Trump is the lesser of two evils. So, and that's the great thing about, you know, having an opinion of your own. You can have one, and, you know, my brother was very articulate in displaying his opinion. So let's go to my next brother here, and once again, he's a young black man, and, you know, you're going to hear why he voted or would vote, if he could vote, for who he would vote for. And it's very ironic, but check this clip out.
So I'm out here with a young black male, and we're at the voting polls. Now I'm asking everybody, why do you vote?
Got to make a change. Why vote?
Got to make a choice. So okay, so why did you vote the way you voted?
I couldn't vote this year. I'm on probation.
Okay.
They stopped me. That's why I'm out here trying to get people to vote so we can see what's gonna happen. Cause if don't nobody come, I'm a young person. Look at how I look at my appearance. They wouldn't think I would be out here.
Okay.
It's just giving them, it don't matter who you is, any walk of life, it's what you stand for and what you believe in. That's what you go for.
So you how old are you?
33.
33. So if you could have voted, what would have been the reason why you voted? Why would you have voted?
I'd have voted for Trump. If I could have voted, I'd have voted for Trump. And the reason why I say that, we got a black president the first time. Obama, they thought the world was gonna change so much. It was gonna be so much good stuff happening. It didn't. Now they talking about a black woman being the president. You know what I'm saying? Women feel like they run the household. I don't think that's not gonna be a good idea to have that much estrogen in control of the world. Ain't no way.
Okay, so you know some people will say, "Oh, you must hate black women if you don't vote for Kamala." What do you say to people who say that?
Nah, I don't hate black women. This is business. We not talking about love. We ain't worried about what is the word I'm looking for? we going off facts. We ain't going off emotions, how you feel. We going off the facts. You can go look down, look these people up, do your research, get the facts on them, and you'll see what's better. Make a bubble map, pros, cons, everything in the middle of that map, and you can weigh it out right.
I appreciate you, my brother. Now, what do you thinking? What will happen if Trump wins?
Gonna be some controversy. I know that. Off the rip, there's gonna be some controversy, but I think it was way smoother when Trump was in office. It was way smoother. That was the smoothest time we had in a good little long time. That's just my opinion.
Okay, all right. And last but not least, man, say you're on probation and you can't vote, but you'll vote next year. Now you out here, campaigning for a couple of guys who are, running for the House and the judge, right? Why are you campaigning for those guys?
Billy Strickland, he really is out here in the community. I see him all the time. I go to Astro Boxing Club. He sponsors a lot of stuff over there. We ain't had nothing out here since the Boys and Girls Club. The longest lasting thing for kids out here was the Boys and Girls Club. Now we got this right here. It's moving. They doing good. They getting good reviews, everything. You can't beat it. You gotta go. I ain't seen Kamala. It ain't Kamala. What's her name?
Judge James.
What's her first name?
Judge Erica James.
Erica James. Yeah, she fried me. I went to court on some stuff where you could have gave me a pass, and you threw me under the bus, and you the same color as me. So if you think, oh, you don't like black women don't like black men.
I appreciate your insight, sir. Peace and blessings.
All right.
All right, so if you see the lady behind us when my brother said that last statement, you see how she looked, and we had a nice conversation with me, him, and another young lady. But there's a young man who made some valid points about why he was voting the way he voted. He felt like that we had a black president before and they didn't do anything, and things didn't change, and many people feel that way, many people don't. They have their reasons for feeling that way. But he mentioned I thought this was funny. He talking about it's not a good idea to have that much estrogen in the house. Now or in the White House. So once again he's done his due diligence. He thinks that when Trump was president a long time ago that things were better. Some people will beg to differ. And but he made some he gave a personal experience about his experience with Judge Erica James. She was running against she's a black lady who was running against another judge, Billy Strickland, and he gave his personal experience about how she went to court. He went to court, and she just threw him under the bus. And that's not the first time I've heard that from black men going in front of her. And then actually another lady told me that she saw her give another person a lighter sentence who was a different color than the black person who was in front of her. So those are reasons people vote, for personal reasons. So I don't discount this brother's reasoning. Once again, everybody has their reasonings, and we are all given that God-given choice to make the decisions that we feel are best for us. Now, this next gentleman is a pastor, and I certainly love his tact and his answers, because it's just like I do. Whatever whatever happens, God is in control. Here is Pastor Mitch from Word of God in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay, so I'm here with a pastor right now, Pastor
Mitch.
Yes, from Word of God in Raleigh. So I just want to ask you these three simple questions. I know it's election time.
Yeah.
Why do you vote?
Man, I vote, primarily, because it's my God-given right. My ancestors died for this. And what kind of Christian would I be if I did not do and exercise my right to vote, man? They say if you don't vote, then you basically are in alignment with whoever gets in office. So I want to make sure that I do my thing, do my part, and do exercise my right to vote.
Okay, and without telling me who you voted for, or if you do want to tell me, that's fine. But what are some of the reasons why you voted the way you did vote this election?
I prayed about it. I prayed about who I voted for, and I let God tell me directly. Sometimes you can try to choose Democrats and try to choose or Republican Party, try to go one side all the way. I mean, try to go one way all the way down the ticket. But sometimes you gotta. I believe that you're supposed to pray. Not sometimes. I believe every time you're voting, you need to pray about who you're voting for. Pay attention to what's going on out here, but also pray about it and let God tell you. So I voted the way that I voted because God told me to.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
So lastly, because a lot of people are in fear if a certain person wins, and a lot of people are in fear if a certain person wins. So what do you think, your opinion, if you have one, about how bad things would be as people perceive if Trump was elected, or how good things?
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like everything is in God's hand no matter what. So no matter who wins the election, it's tough to say how good or how bad things would get, whichever one. I just know that the United States is under the kingdom of God.
I like
so
that.
I believe that the kingdom of God the kingdom of God will have the last say so. So I'm just believing in that wholeheartedly, that God is going to be at the center of whoever's in office, and that will be exactly what we need to go by.
Amen.
Yes,
I don't
sir.
have to ask you the last
Yes, sir.
question because
Yes,
you
sir.
answered in totality. Thank you,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
so much, Pastor Mitch. Word
Appreciate
of God,
you, man.
man.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
man. Thank you.
And we can drop the mic right there. Like my brother said, it doesn't matter who's win. The United States is in God's hands. He prayed about his decision. He didn't probably make a lot of fuss about it. He prayed, and that's who God told him to vote for. So that's one thing that always gets me as well. Not saying this particular situation, but I see a lot of people, both pastors and both God-fearing men, both black and white, saying, "No, this person's right. Oh, this person is God. This person." How can God be confused? You know what I'm saying? But this is what politics do. It definitely divides. It confuses. It forms wedges from people who would otherwise believe the same thing. How can two people believe in the same God, but think that God told this person is right and God told this person is right? Which is, but I thank my brother because he made a, once again, valid point. Look, no matter who wins, God is in control. And this next brother, he is, he reminds me of somebody who's very passionate about, what he does and what he stands for. So we're going to take a listen to my brother, Mr. Bass, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we're going to take a look at my brother, Mr. Bass. Here we go.
I'm here with my brother. What's your name?
Marcus Bass.
Marcus Bass from...
Oh, sorry. All right, so let me do the whole thing. So what's going on, everybody? My name is Marcus Bass. I serve in leadership with an organization called the North Carolina Black Alliance in Advanced Carolina. We're building this notion called building black political power across the state. What that means is Democrats are not going to save you. Republicans are not going to save you. It's only we the people, when we band together in number, take our voice to the polls, and even after the polls, take it to the city council, take it to the board of commission, take it everywhere we need to go until we build the power. When we unite, we win. And when we fight on all fronts, we win on all fronts. So it's not just about being registered Democrat or being registered Republicans. Sometimes both of them do things that hurt you. But when you think about what's really at stake and you're really knowledgeable and you're able to harness the power, regardless of what candidate is registered Democrat or Republican, your people are together, they got the issues and they build the power.
Hey, man, yeah, I couldn't say it better myself. So let me ask you one question personally. Why do you vote?
So first of all, man, I recognize the obligation. What we have to do to vote is so easy now. You go in a building, you walk out, it's done. 10 minutes, little inconvenience. What it took to get to that little inconvenience was a lot of big catastrophes, a lot of deaths, a lot of injustice. And when I think about even what we're going through now, man, this whole notion around supporting the black woman, when Tupac told us 20, 30 years ago how to treat a black woman, we forget how quick history turns around. And before you know it, if you're not careful letting somebody else lead you, you'll be led astray. So for me, I think this election cycle and why I'm voting is particularly about knowing where I come from and then knowing how much further we got to go. I'm going to have a daughter one day, and she is going to be a black woman. And I want her to know that she can go and do whatever she puts her mind to if she wants to be a pediatrician or if she wants to be a black president.
Okay, so you basically told me the answer to your second question. Now, you don't have to tell me specifically, or you can almost tell me verbatim. Why did you vote the way you voted this time? With or without telling me who you voted for.
We need something new.
Okay.
If it wasn't for what Harris did, we would have seen two of the oldest people in history running for office. Two white men at that. That's not taking us anywhere forward. That's moving us even further back. I know that people have a critique around Kamala. I got my critiques around Kamala. I want to see people stop getting killed in the Middle East. I want to see people stop being killed in Wayne County. I know the president has a lot to do with that. But I know my level and ability to negotiate with Trump, is nowhere near, non-existent. I know his plan for us. But what I see under Harris, what I'm seeing is an opportunity to negotiate. We still have time left on the clock. I've read Project 2025. I've seen what that's about. I've talked to people that are close to the power in DC and have told me what it is. And politics is not about getting the best for you. It's about making the best decision that you can with the options that you have. And for me, the choice was clear.
Okay, couple of more questions, because a lot of people are fearful if Trump wins, there's going to be backlash. But also, so how do you think change will change or not change if Trump was to win?
So I think number one, if Trump wins, you can see an automatic repeal of rights. This ability that you have to build this mega platform and say what you want to do independently and freely, that's gone. Our ability to educate our kids, regardless of what curriculum says, making sure that they have the best quality education, that's gone. Diversity, equity, inclusion is already gone, but regardless of how hard you work now, you're not going to get anywhere near as successful as you would if Trump wasn't in office. So what we have to realize is that there are things that have been laid out that they're telling us. Telling us that we eat dogs and cats. That's our people. You might not feel that you're connected to somebody overseas, but you are. And guess what? The police don't know if you're from the Caribbean or if you're from Kansas. They're going to come to get you. And so some of this system is baked in and will only be magnified times 20 under a Trump administration. That's just fact. Okay. He's got a plan for public education. It's to eliminate it. He's got a plan for policing. It's to increase it. He's got a plan for black women barefoot and pregnant. He's got a plan for black men in the jail. So I'm just letting you know the choice is very clear to me.
Okay, so how do you think things will change if Kamala wins?
So I think under a Harris administration, one of the things that we'll have is at least the opportunity to discuss what differences we want to see made, right? We know for a fact under the challenger, under Trump, we see an individual that's already staked his claim. He already knows or thinks he knows how our community feels and what we want. With Kamala, she knows that there has to be a bargaining chip. We've seen more of a black agenda for black men in the past 2 or 3 months because we've been pushing. We see a longer conversation about access to women's rights because we've been pushing. And at a time where we were going to see, again, two of the oldest people, it was the people that moved Biden out of the way and put Kamala in position. And so that accountability is far greater than what they got on the right. They've been trying to move Trump out for the past 12 years. They haven't been able to move that at all. As a matter of fact, they're doubling down on that. And that's why young white people, those young hardcore conservatives, and even some black people that historically voted Republican, they're turning the other way because that fool in office is going to be bad news for us. We've already seen what happened when he was in 2016. We had a referendum on that in 2020. Now we done got a new face. There's some situations we got to move around on the agenda item, but I'd much rather do business under a Harris administration than have to deal with the aftermath of Trump's hate and the rhetoric that he spewed out across the state and the country.
Hey man, I appreciate you, man, for your knowledge and your education.
Appreciate you,
as far as that. But first thing as well, you said is the people.
That's right.
People. So
That's right.
I thank you for
it's on the shirt. It's on the shirt, baby. Closer to the people.
Closer
That's what
to
we got to
people,
do, man.
Appreciate your love.
We got to move politics closer to the people, not the other way around. It ain't about how many times you go into city council. It's about how many times city council going to you.
Hey, you couldn't say it better.
Hey, so that's my brother, man. He made some excellent points. He mentioned that, there will be two of the oldest candidates in history. So that's major. He opened my eyes to a couple of things as far as, just being able to have that new thing, which is, Kamala would have been that new thing. Unfortunately for some, she didn't win. So, yeah, my brother, and also he said it's not just about voting. It's about going to the council meetings, working in your community. And that's one thing that I've stressed, that, you can't just vote and sit at home. You got to vote and go out and make that change to support your vote and whoever you voted for. So my brother, you can tell that he was very, very well versed. He had done his research. He's been out there. He's got a great understanding. And, he gave a great explanation of why he voted the way he did. Now that is once again, what I love when people can articulate very confidently their reasoning for vote. Just like this next lady. She's a political pundit around here in Wayne County, Miss Nicole, and she's going to tell you what is her reasoning for voting the way she voted.
Right, Coach. So we're out here at the polls in Goldsboro, North Carolina, and I'm here with the Wayne County Democratic Caucus Chair,
African American
Caucus Chair, and the NAACP
Political Action Chair.
Political Action Chair. So
Yes.
you're here with someone who's very astute in the political process. So now, I just got 3 questions. Why do you vote?
Okay, so that's question 1. Why do I vote? Well, first off, it's our civic duty. I feel that, that's the basic thing that we can do as Americans. The other thing is voting is your power. Voting is your voice. So you get to actually choose who you want to represent you. That's what voting does for you. You have some people who want to say, oh, it doesn't matter, who I vote for. They're going to vote for whoever they're going to put in office, whoever they want to. That is not necessarily true, especially when you're looking at those local, state levels. You have those particular races that are actually a democratic process. It's 1 for 1 when it comes to state and local. So please, 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 at least if you're not going to do it on the presidential level, do it on your local levels, because you're missing out on having your voice heard. So I just think that, being a part of the political process, the basic is voting, using your voice as power, as well as being that change agent that you want to see and have those people represent you in those public offices.
Great. So now another question. Now you can tell me without telling me who you voted for. You can tell me with telling you who you voted for. But Why did you vote the way you voted on this particular election as far as the president's concerned?
So my biggest thing is democracy, decency, respect of other people, and not just respect of a certain group of people. So for me, I just think that it's important that we save our democracy. Otherwise, we're not going to have one. You have the one person who specifically said they're going to be a dictator on day one. We don't need that. We don't have time for that here in America. We have still a long ways to go in order to achieve that American dream. And I believe that Kamala Harris is that president.
Okay. Now, the third and the fourth question is kind of simultaneously, but okay. A lot of people have fear about, if Trump wins. How do you think America would change, or what do you think would happen if Trump wins?
Well, he's already told us what he's going to do. First, day one, he said he's going to be a dictator on day one. He literally said that out of his mouth. The other thing that he said is he's going to have a massive deportation. He wants to get rid of all immigrants. And he didn't necessarily say illegal. He said immigrants. Okay. So I just don't think that it's going to be a good thing if that man gets into office. And that's just from what I see and from what I hear from his mouth. Not listening to other people, not going off of sound bites, not talking political rhetoric. This is actually from his mouth and what he said that he would do. He wants to abolish education, public education. He wants to get rid of that. Not everybody can afford to send their child to a private school. And even if you were to get those school vouchers, that's great. But guess what? There are so many other fees that come along with being in that private school. You're not going to be able to afford it. Those people who can't afford to send their child now. So I just think that we need to really rethink those particular issues, because he already said what he's going to do day one.
All right. And lastly, how do you think the country would change if Ms. Harris wins?
Well, I believe, like I was saying earlier, in regards to democracy, bringing back decency, bringing back the idea of the American dream again, not taking America back, with her phrase of "we're not going back." We can't afford to go back. It just doesn't make sense to me. So she's been talking about change. She's been talking about bringing people in. She's been talking about, making sure that we take care of one another. She's been talking about upliftment of communities, of people with small businesses, people who have children, first time, you get $6,000. I would have loved that, to be honest with you. Just things like that. Small businesses, she want to give you up to $1 million if you want to open up your business, $20,000 $1,000, starting off. So there's just so many different reasons why we should vote for Kamala Harris. Those are just to name a few. But for me, she represents everything good, everything the American dream is supposed to represent. And the only way that we can do that is through her.
All right. Thank you so much
You're
for
very
your
welcome.
political astuteness. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, so there you have, once again, Miss Nicole, which is a political personality, I would say, in the area. And she had some, once again, very valid points about why she believes and what the reason that she voted. A lot of, had to do with what Trump said he was going to do, or what it was alleged that he has said that he was going to do. And, I've had that discussion with a lot of people, and, I don't think people realize that he can't do all of those things. Once again, as I stated in the beginning, politicians always get in and say what they're going to do, but do they really have the power to do those things? I think there are three branches that, deal with the checks and balance. Nevertheless, she did mention some good things about why she, what she think would, be the benefits of Miss Harris being elected. So those are great points, very well stated, and they can't be disputed from a personal point of view. Being a God-given right to have those point of views and believe what you believe as far as the election goes. Now, so the next lady you will hear, she's going to give her opinions on why she voted the way she voted.
So, I'm here with a woman. You just voted, right?
Yes.
All right. So, why do you vote?
I vote because I want the black community to be good.
Okay. So, what do you think would happen if Trump would have won?
Oh, Lord, we going to hell.
That was you, the second person who said that.
For real, I just don't want him in there. I don't feel like he's going to do nothing for us black people. A lot of different races, I don't feel he's going to do a lot for. I feel like he all for white people.
Okay. So, now what do you think would happen if Kamala win?
We got a fighting chance.
Okay. Okay. And is this your first time voting?
No.
You always vote?
Yeah, I vote.
All right. So, what are some of the reasons that you vote?
I vote so, we can have better things going on.
Okay.
Or at least that's what I think.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your information.
You too.
All right, so there, you see the lady, she's very to the point. I vote because I want better things for the black community. And, she said that, I guess, the other gentleman is basically for the white community, and we're going to hell if he is elected. So she basically made her point straight out, why she voted. And once again, she has the right to vote how and why she wants to vote. Now, next lady is also, she makes a very valid point on why she is voting the way she's voting.
All right, so I'm here with another young lady who just voted, right? So why do you vote? Why you feel it's important to vote?
Because our chances is getting slimmer and slimmer on voting. I think everybody should vote because it's so important for the United States.
Okay, so what are the reasons that you voted for who you voted for today?
Well, I voted for Kamala Harris because I feel like she's just gonna make a change and she cares about a lot of things that Trump doesn't.
Okay, now did her being a black woman, did that have a lot to do with it too?
No, I just want to vote for somebody who isn't being convicted of 34 felonies right now. It's ridiculous.
Okay, so now what do you think will happen to America if Trump do win?
Well, I think this is what I will say. If a felon can run the country, then why can't felons have jobs?
Ooh. Okay. All right.
That's just what I think. I'm just being honest.
All right. So what do you think is going to happen if Kamala wins?
I think we'll see a better change.
Okay.
So good luck to Kamala.
Is this your first time voting?
No, it's actually my third time voting.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much. Appreciate
You're welcome.
You. All right.
So she makes a great valid point. If a felon can run the country, then why can't felons have jobs? And once again, she mentioned that, the fact that Kamala would be a great change, which, is a great point. We've had all of these prototypical type presidents over the years, and they continue to, in my opinion, do the same thing. Now, next, we have another young lady who's going to voice her opinion about how and why she voted.
I'm here with Quetta, right?
Right.
And we asking people, why did they vote? So why do you vote?
Because I wanted to exercise my right. So many of our ancestors have fought so hard for us to vote, and we need to get out and vote to make our voice heard. We have kids. I have kids, in this world, so I'm exercising my right to vote, especially for my kids.
Okay. Why did you vote? You don't have to tell me who you voted for, but why did you vote for whoever you voted for president?
We didn't really have a good choice of candidates this time, but I voted for the person who I voted for because I thought that it was a little bit better than the other one.
Okay.
But even though I don't really approve of the one I voted for,
I like
I
that.
still voted.
Okay.
So y'all should too.
Okay. So now, what did you think would happen if Trump was to win?
It'll be more corruption. I mean, because he already showed us when they raided the Capitol that he really wasn't for us then. He didn't try to bring back order then. And so he's already showed us that he condoning corruption. So I think it will be more corrupt if he win.
Okay. So how do you think would the country be if Kamala wins?
I really can't say, but we'll just see.
I like
We'll
that.
just
I
see.
like that. I like that. So I thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you. Thank you for exercising your right to vote and for giving me some insight on why you voted.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
All right, so there you have another young voter, young female voter who made a valid point to me. She said, I don't think that we had, two good choices of candidates, but she voted for who she voted for, in which I think that, the Democrats could have did a better job of, selecting a candidate, which I'm gonna get to later. But, she mentioned that, Trump would be, a little bit more corrupt, which, she made a valid point again. Like when the January 6th thing happened, he didn't try to bring back order. Now, so that was some great points. Now, once again, we have another young lady who's going to be very forthright about her reason for voting.
And your name is
Andrea McNair.
Andrea. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is your first time voting. Why do you think it's important to vote?
With the issues that we face in this country, I can complain all day, but my complaints wouldn't matter until I vote.
Okay, now without telling me who you voted for, or if you do want to, what are the reasons why you voted the way you voted today?
The reasons, women's rights.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
yep.
So that tells me who you voted for, right? Okay. Yep. So now, what do you think would happen if Trump was to win?
Disaster.
Disaster.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Now, how do you feel if Kamala would win? What would happen?
I mean, like I said, women's rights. I mean, if she wins, I mean, I don't have to. That's like less of a worry about my rights. I can make decisions for myself and not have to worry about them getting taken away or facing the consequences.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you so much for exercising your vote, and I know this is the first of many votes you have.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so there you have another woman voter who exercised her right on her personal interests. Her personal interests were women's rights, and that's what she felt was important. So that was one of the major factors of her decision. So, and I think she was a first-time voter as well. So she's a mother, and she has children. Two girls. Well, she has children. She's a mother and she has children, so she wanted to make the best decision for her and her children. Now we have another young black man, and you're going to hear his reasonings for voting.
Here with B.J. Simmons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And is this your first time voting?
Oh no, I voted years ago. It's my second time going.
All right, okay. So let me ask you, why do you vote?
I feel like the USA needs a new president, and hopefully Kamala Harris might be able to keep her in a promise.
Okay, so what are the reasons that you voted? I assume you voted for Harris.
Yeah, sure is.
All right, so what are some of the reasons that you voted the way you voted today?
I mean, she said she's gonna reduce taxes, a few other things I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure she's gonna do good on her end.
Okay, and you said that you hope she keeps her end of the bargain, right?
Mhm.
Like, because they tell us anything and then sometimes they don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what do you think would happen if Trump was to win?
Oh boy. I mean, I don't know what other people's opinions are, but I think he kind of messed up with a few other things. But if he does win, I mean, if he does win, I'm just like, oh god, it's all over. But I'm praying that Kamala Harris wins because
Okay. So how do you think things would work out if Kamala wins?
I'm pretty sure things will work out good.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I certainly thank you for your input, Mr. Simmons.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Okay, so there you have another young black man, and he's voting for Kamala, and he once again made a very important statement. If she keeps up her end of the bargain, and so that's one of my things as well. As I mentioned before in this video, you know, politicians are able to say anything, but can they really do and bring those things that they're saying to the forefront? So I think that is something to be watchful over. You know, no matter, well, we already know who won today, but you know, like I mentioned, we're going to be watchful if all of these things that, you know, people are fearful about actually take place. And so I think that's very notable to consider. Now we have another young lady.
If Kamala wins, it's gonna take a little bit of time for her to do what she has to do. And I'm just being honest. That's how I feel.
Okay. So you think if Trump wins, he's going to put a lot of bad things in play faster.
Right.
But Kamala wins, it's going to take her a little bit of time to make the good things happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody think Trump gave us them stimulus checks. Everybody.
Okay. Well, I certainly thank you for your time, and thank you for coming out to vote today.
All right.
All right, so there you have, you know, another young black woman, you know, basically asserting her right to vote, her interests. You know, she feels that, you know, once again, it would be a disservice to herself as a black woman to vote anything other than Kamala Harris. And she also mentioned it's going to take time, just like somebody else said, to make progress if she was elected. And then, you know, with Trump being elected, that she feels that, you know, a lot of things will be cut and dry. Like a lot of things will be put in place. So we have to wait and see that if that comes to pass or not. Now, this next lady, she's actually from DC, but she lives here now. So she's going to give you her reasoning for voting as well.
Here with Talisa, right? And you're not a first-time voter, are you?
No, I'm not.
All right, so tell me, why do you vote?
I vote because it's necessary. It's needed. Our ancestors couldn't do it. So it's time for us to stand up.
Okay. Now, why did you vote the way that you voted today?
Because it was needed. And I feel if I didn't vote, then I would be one of the ones to sit back that didn't, complaining about how the outcome be.
Okay. Now, a lot of people are scared of certain people winning. So if Trump wins, how do you think the country would be?
I think it's gonna start a riot. In my opinion, I think he can't take it. The ones that voted for him can't take it. So it would start a riot.
All right, so now what if Kamala wins? What do you think will happen?
I would be happy, but I also still think it'd be a riot.
It doesn't matter, right?
Either way.
Either way,
It's
right?
gonna happen.
It'd be some trouble.
Because some people just can't take losing.
Uh-huh. Well, thank you so much, Talisa. That's all I want. And thank you for voting.
Thank
So
you.
You voted, right?
Because I voted.
All right.
Hello.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
All right, and there she is expressing her right to vote. And she mentions the things that a lot of people mention is if you don't vote, you don't have a right to complain, which does make sense. So she didn't really get into who she voted for, which is her right. But she said that, you know, if he wins, it's going to be a riot. If he loses, it's going to be a riot. It's 7:40 a.m. and there has not been any riot yet. So, you know, a lot of people, once again, are fearful of things that have yet to take place. Now, this other lady, she's going to give you her reasoning for voting.
We out here at the polls in Goldsboro, North Carolina, and I'm with Bree.
Yeah,
All right, so you just voted, right?
I did.
All right, so why do you vote?
Well, I vote because my vote matters. I have a voice. That's what it is.
Okay. Now, today, why did you vote the way you voted?
Well, today I voted the way I voted because everybody has a chance to vote, and I wanted to have that chance to vote.
What are some of the issues that caused you to vote the way you did today, as far as the president's concerned?
Well, minimum wage, schooling, how expensive it is just to get in school, and we don't even make like half of the money it is to go to school or to even get a home. Like we renting, and that is so expensive. How are we going to save money in order to get a home? Like it just don't make no sense.
Okay, there. So let me ask you. A lot of people are scared. What do you think will happen if Trump wins?
So we all doomed. Say your prayers.
We all do. All right. So what do you think will happen if Kamala wins?
I believe she's gonna make a difference. She's gonna make a change in the world. Like if for everybody who keeps saying women can't run the world, we are, and she gonna win and watch us win.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Bree. Enjoy your food and thank you for voting.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. And so there you have, the young lady expressing, that women do have the capabilities, in which I agree to run the country. So once again, she mentioned some great personal reasons why, that she voted, being, the price of things and, schooling and all of those things like that are major issues. So once again, you have another person who was very direct and eloquent about telling you why they voted for they voted. Now, this last gentleman is also someone I would call very astute, as it is in the political sector. Mr. Mael Thompson, he's going to give you his views on why he voted the way he voted.
All right, so I'm here with a community member, very active in the community, Mr. Mael Thompson. So we're out here at the Goldsboro poll. So let me ask you a question. Why do you vote? Or why do you feel it's important to vote?
What I feel like it's important to vote, one, because I believe that my vote matters. I need to know that how the outcome of it, I had a part in it. That I just didn't sit back and just say, oh, well, my vote doesn't matter. I can't complain if I don't put in the work out there. So I decided that, hey, my voice matters, and my vote matters. So why not put in the ticket? And
Have you always thought that way?
I have always thought that way.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now today, why did you vote the way you voted in regards to the presidential election?
Well, the reason why I voted the way that I voted is one, I did my study. Doesn't matter whether they were Democrat or Republican. I voted on what matters to me, based off their platform, what I believe, their history, how they affected the community, and whether they was important to me to be able to, get my vote. That's pretty much how I voted. And, I thought whoever I voted for was good enough for them to be in that seat.
I like that. So how do you think the country would be if Trump was the president?
Well, that's the scariest thing on both ends, I think. Not just on one end. Tonight is going to make whatever the vote goes, whether it's Trump or Kamala, it's going to change. Something is going to change. There's a projected of something that's going to happen. Whether if Trump wins, he's already got his agenda. One thing you know about Trump, he's going to do what he say he's going to do. So, on the other end, you got Kamala, right? And so you got Harris. And so what I will say, whatever the vote, whatever it comes out, history is going to be made either way. And so that's what I do believe is that, Trump do get in that seat. We still got an issue because he's going to do what he says he's going to do.
Okay.
The other end of if Harris win, we're going to have to determine, how the community is moved forward in that way, how people are going to take her being the first female president. Are they going to be willing to listen to us? Are the other countries going to be able to listen to her? And so not that she's not capable of being in that seat. I just think more so each each party is going to change history tonight.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Thompson.
All righty. You're welcome.
All right. So there you saw about 15 people, men and women expressing, their opinions about voting, why they voted, and what would they think would be the results of individuals winning or losing. Now, I think out of the 15 people, you only heard 2 that was on the Trump side, right? So that myth that, a lot of black people are voting for Trump, I think that just dispel that myth. However, we all know now that Trump has won. Now, the big question is what will happen next? A lot of people, once again, are fearful. That's why I asked that question. As you heard me state from the beginning, I'm not fearful. I depend on, all of these scriptures that I've faced many trials in life. I'm going to continue to do those things regardless of Trump, Kamala, 225, all of those things that people are using, as fear tactics. The sun is still shining bright outside. But I just wanted to give people a viewpoint of what was happening. I really don't like to talk politics because, once again, it's a very emotional subject. People lose their minds and people lose their logic. People lose their friends, all of those things. So I just wanted to give this brief coverage of it because I knew that I know that is a good topic of discussion. The end result, I think, is Trump has won. And, just to give my 2 cents on it, I always think that the political system is a game. The political system is run by the people who run the world, the 1%ers, the oligarchs, as Dr. Cornel West called them, the people who call the shots behind the scenes. And I think that it was all a plan all along to bring Trump back into the presidency. And this is the reason why I say so. Biden dropped out. There were several candidates. And as you heard a couple of people say, that Kamala was not the strongest candidate. She was, kind of a nominal, and not even on here. I've heard people who supported Kamala say that, yeah, she's the weak candidate. And I feel like the Democrats could have picked any other candidate and they would have beat Trump because, even Trump, some people who are Republicans don't like Trump. But I feel that, they could have picked Michelle Obama or whoever. Like, Michelle Obama would have been a shoo-in for me. Like, I wouldn't have had to, there wouldn't have been no, you know what I mean? If that was the case. And so, for people who, as my brother mentioned, or as I've heard say that, people who are not supporting Kamala, especially black men, hate black women, I do not think that's the case. Once again, a lot of black women didn't support Kamala. So does that mean that the black women hated black women because they didn't support this particular candidate? But like I said, I feel that the Democrats could have did a better job in selecting a better, stronger candidate, and they would have been a shoo-in to win. So, a lot of people feel that way as well, that they should have, once again, anybody could have beaten Trump, so I think that it was orchestrated on purpose to choose what many people feel like a weaker nominal candidate so that Trump could be back in power. That's just my 2 cents. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment. 919-587-7782. Peace and blessings. Y'all take care.
Richard Taylor, right here at Taylor House Publishing. Speak with Richard directly at 919-587-7782. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and invite your family and friends to watch.
From Wayne County to the Carolina coast, tell our house, bring the news you love most. Tune in on YouTube, don't miss a beat. Local stories that keep you in your feet. Taylor House, we got the school. Taylor House Publishing.